Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Ratchet Clank video. Today I'll be discussing the future of Ratchet Clank and where the franchise may be headed. Before I get started, I'd just like to mention that it would be much appreciated if we could get this video to 10 likes, as it is a goal that I'm still yet to achieve. But anyways, let's get on with this video and let's get it started. Now, many people have wanted the story from Into the Nexus to continue on. They want the original Ratchet Clank series to keep on going, and probably they want to find out Ratchet's backstory and finally him find the Lombax. So I know I did after playing Crack in Time. I really wanted a game where we find the Lombaxes, but we didn't. But we are getting a reboot instead. But others like me, for example, want the new reboot to continue and make it its own story and polish it and make it a really good story. So I really want that, but I'll keep on going on. Now I'm just gonna say, in my opinion, I highly doubt that the series will continue after Into the Nexus, but that's my opinion. I reckon Insomniac Games are done with the old series and just want to start a new, fresh, and change the story of the roots of Ratchet and Clank. They want to change how it started, and that's basically what they're doing with the reboot. They've done heaps with the story, and I highly doubt that they'll ever go back to the old series and create another game or trilogy or whatever for that series ever again. I doubt. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys wanted that. But there is a possibility for the Ratchet & Clank series to continue, but this possibility is for the reboot and the new game on the PS4 to have a sequel and become a proper series. So I think the possibility of a second Ratchet & Clank game on the PS4 continuing the story has a very high chance of being a thing. Why I think this is because of the hints we receive in the game. One obvious and giant hint was when the plumber basically sort of confirmed it. So if you guys saw that, you would have seen that the plumber said, see you in the next reboot," and that pretty much he pretty much says pretty much confirms that there will be a second Ratchet & Clank games. We can't always trust the plumber, however. I mean, he's sort of shifty dude, but like, it could have also just been like a cool thing that Insomniac just wanted to incorporate to like make sure that he breaks the fourth wall because they couldn't think of anything. But I doubt that. I really think that there's going to be a second game, and I think that was sort of the hint that Insomniac gave us. Now another hint that we received sort of is the opening cinematic cutscene. Here we basically see Captain Quark in prison. Now I'm not quite sure where this is set, and the scene sort of played with my mind, sort of like I wasn't sure what this really was. So I'm just going to talk about that a bit more. But basically, Quark was confused why Ratchet and Clank were making a game based on their movie, based on him. So we have two possibilities from this. This scene could either be between the first two original games, the original game in 2002 and Going Commando. This could be the scene, the transition where Captain Quark was defeated by Ratchet and Clank, and the transition to the next game, so Going Commando. But this would then make it sort of hard for there to be a sequel and Insomniac be able to explain like the scene. It's like really complicated, and it really played with my mind if I thought about that. So I completely got rid of that thought and thought of something different. So what I think this is in what Insomniac intends for this to mean is basically Insomniac are pretty much completely forgetting about the old series. I reckon. I think they just don't want to even remember about it and be like, that's done, this is new series starting again. And if you take that into account, then this is the actual transition between the reboot and the possible sequel. If there wasn't gonna be a sequel, then I don't think they would have showed us Quark in prison, because it really doesn't make sense. It's sort of like a cliffhanger before the game even starts. So I think that really just does confirm that there will be a second game. We know that Ratchet and Clank both defeated Quark in this game too. From the recent story trailer we received, we saw that there was a boss fight with Quark, and that pretty much confirms that we defeat him. So that would explain why he is in prison. So I reckon this is a huge hint that there will be a sequel to the current reboot, or the upcoming reboot. So now I'm going to talk about some ideas that I have for the Ratchet and Clank sequel. We know that in the reboot that Captain Quark becomes bad and is the reason that he goes to prison. So obviously it would make sense for him to be the main villain in the second movie. However, I don't think this route, if you're American, on behalf of Insomniac Games, would be a smart decision. I think what they will do is make him a good guy again, before up your arsenal so they can prepare for the third installment. And I reckon there will be a third installment if there is a second one. So basically he might and probably will understand his mistakes and the wrong that he did in the first one, and maybe sometime during the second game he'll finally apologize, formally or not formally, depending. I mean, it is Quark after all. But he'll apologize to Ratchet and Clank, and I think this would be good, as then it sort of makes sense for Quark to become the leader of the Q4s, because in the third Ratchet and Clank, because that just like makes more sense. I reckon maybe the entire beginning trilogy of the game should be focused on Nefarious a bit more. So I'll go on to talk about a bit more about Nefarious. I think what Insomniac Games is trying to do, or should do, is make Nefarious the main villain in this entire trilogy, because this is going to be a trilogy. If there is a second game and a third game, it should be a proper trilogy. I think this is where Nefarious is beaten and is changed into a robot from his squishy form, which ends up leaving sort of a cliffhanger for the third game, where he is defeated and sent into space, and then eventually the future suit, but we don't need to go that far. I think this storyline would be perfectly tie in and make the first three games more related to each other, rather than how the first initial three games were completely irrelevant to each other. So I'm going to go a bit more in depth regarding the second game. Basically, I reckon maybe Quark is bad and goes to Bogon, obviously, to do the entire prototype crisis thing. However, when he does it and sees that he cannot control the crisis, he goes to Ratchet and Clank for help, rather than like dressing up as Mr. Fizzwidge and all that stuff. But he goes to Ratchet and Clank for help to pretty much save Bogon, and then Ratchet and Clank would obviously help them, and then he would be a part of the entire thing, and he'll save Bogon Galaxy. But then Captain Quark would steal all the credit for doing it. I mean, that's usual. Captain Quark does that. So how we can tie this into the Nefarious villain 3 thing, I think it would be cool. Now that I think about it, I think maybe Quark works with Nefarious to do the Protopet scandal, but Nefarious then ditches Quark and tries to destroy the galaxy with the Protopets. This could be completely different to the original Going Commando, actually. Now, yeah. So the story could honestly be Nefarious moving to a different galaxy so he can become known as a proper supervillain. Instead of Quark going to another galaxy to become a proper hero in that galaxy, Nefarious, because of his failures in the Solana galaxy, goes to Bogon to become a proper supervillain in that galaxy and gain his reputation back. Meaning that no one will know his failures against Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I think that will work. That would be perfect. So basically, you'd start out with Quark and Nefarious working together. They become sort of allies, I guess, and then they try to they create the Protopet scandal or crisis or whatever. And then once Nefarious has all the help from Captain Quark, I don't know what Quark could do to help Nefarious, but once he has all the help, then Nefarious pretty much ditches Quark, and then Quark realizes how like what he did was so stuffed up. So he goes to Ratchet and Clank, does the entire you need to save the galaxy, blah 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 blah, maybe lures him in or something, and then Ratchet saves the galaxy. Quark takes the credit. Ratchet defeats Nefarious. He then dies with speech marks around it, and then maybe at the end, right at the end of the game, we see Lawrence maybe repairing Dr. Nefarious and giving a cliffhanger for the third game. Okay, that would be perfect, guys. That's my ideas. So that is just some of the ideas, guys, that I have for the game. I didn't want to talk too much about this, as we haven't even had the release of the first game, so it's sort of pointless talking about the second. But I'm just super hyped for everything, and I did this video sort of like on the go and all at once. I just wanted to just talk about some ideas and discuss with you guys, and so that's why it wasn't as professional, because normally when I do my videos I have them out in points that I want to talk about, but I did this sort of impromptu sort of, I guess you could say. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed those ideas that I have, and leave a comment down below what you think will be in the future of what will be the future of the franchise. Do you think that the old Ratchet & Clank series will continue, or do you think this new reboot will be a new series and will be the start of Ratchet & Clank again? And do you think there will be a sequel to the reboot. So what do you guys think, and what do you guys want? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys think. Drop a thumbs up, as well as let's try and get this video to 10 likes, and subscribe for heaps of Ratchet Clank videos. And this is once again LegitMHx signing out.